Just to speak about it makes me quite emotional.
It genuinely is a mess. It's really very unpleasant.
My name is Juliette Atkinson. I am a professional coach and consultant, and I've been living in France for 25 years. The biggest change that's come about for me in my life, thanks to Brexit, is that I became French.
My name's Mark Branich. I'm the owner of Paper Artsy, and it's a company that we set up in the UK 15 years ago, and we've had to move to France because of Brexit.
I'm Adam Trickett. I lived in Hampshire in England with my wife, who was French. Brexit was very unpleasant, very psychologically unpleasant, and so we chose to move to France.
To our friends in the United Kingdom, I want to say, parting is such sweet sorrow.
The main thing for me was that when the result of the referendum was announced, it really felt like there was something that broke in me, and it really tapped into something more than just voting around an issue. It tapped into who I was and how did I identify with being British.
Feeling European is actually a very peculiar thing, because I met my wife in the United States. I worked at the university there, and she was already there. You're very much made to feel in America an immigrant. I'm not saying that Americans are bad people, but there was a stronger feeling of European identity than there was of Anglophile, and that was a surprise to me. And so when came back to the UK, I worked in an environment where about half the staff were European. I've been coming backwards and forwards to France, and then my brother lives in Denmark. I think I had a much stronger European identity than some of my friends, and having that ripped from underneath me was very unpleasant.
The reason why I decided to become French was because it was important to me to remain a European citizen. Initially, it was something that I really struggled with, because there was a part of me that felt quite powerless, and that also felt a little bit resentful about it. And the more that I thought about it, the more that it made sense to me.
So it's been a lot of prep time, reading websites, checking documentation out, checking conflicting documentation out, sending everything in triplicate.
Why put yourself through that?
Because it was more important for me to stay with my wife. I mean, that's the bottom line. She felt really unpleasant, and I felt ashamed.
After the Brexit vote, we looked at our business, which was 80% export from the UK, and we could see that there would be problems at the border. And so we began a process of looking to relocate our company and family to Europe. We settled on coming to France, and we arrived in France in September 2020. So we've only been here for about 6 months now. I do resent the cost of having to do that. And I do resent the fact that, we were under a government that really didn't care about business and about the effects of what Brexit was going to have on businesses. You're coming from New Zealand, it's a very distant country. You know that you trade with your closest partners. To cut off and make it more difficult to deal with the EU is nuts. Just nuts.
Because although we have left the EU, this country will remain culturally, emotionally, historically, strategically, geologically attached to Europe.
I think even if the UK joined or rejoined the EU next year, I wouldn't move back, purely because of the fact that I've now experienced better weather I have a property here, and the cost of moving back would be just crazy. I wouldn't do it.
I think never say never, and you never know what's going to come up in life. It's not something that I plan to do in the immediate future, but who could have predicted the situation that we're in right now?
I have no real reason to go back to the UK because I have effectively no real family there, just one remaining relative. I would have to start again. It would be back into the job market, back into the work market, into the housing market. It's a lot of effort, and it's more important for me to be with my wife.